Welcome to the second recording of my attempt at becoming a guru. So here it is. I have been teaching English in Japan for well over 5 years now. We're actually going on 8 years. And teaching in Japan for most foreigners who come from countries where English is at least a first language is that it's one of those things people just fall into because it's the easiest job to get. And I was the same. So when I came to Japan, I was initially a student. Then the first job I got was a waiter at an Italian restaurant. And of course, then I was working, I was doing some construction work, then I was a bartender. All these jobs didn't really require me to teach English. But I always sought out an English teaching job because I knew this was going to be decent money, especially for the working hours, and something very easy for me, right? As far as I was concerned then. I thought it's just a job where I just come into class and just do the ABCs, teach the kids how to say hello and goodbye and the basic, and that's that. And for most people, that is the case. So you see, people abroad apply for English teaching jobs because they know it's going to be that easy job, decent pay, and that's that. It's the kind of job where you don't really need to apply yourself. It is not necessary to apply yourself in this kind of job, right? And people live that way. They stay for decades just barely applying themselves, right? And what you find that these people at some point in their lives, they start talking about, like feeling dissatisfied with their job. Now, I was lucky. I was lucky in this regard. The reason being that I joined a company that required us to have two things. Number one, monthly training. So at least once a month we'd have, I wouldn't call it training, let's say just kind of a workshop, monthly workshops, whereby like all the teachers in our area would come together and discuss teaching techniques, games we can use in the classroom, how to deal with parents, such things. So I was fortunate to join such a company. Number two, the same company had something called team teachers. Now, team teachers would be whereby we have one classroom with maybe 4 classes a day, and you'd have 2 teachers. So one teacher will teach 2 classes and another teacher 2 classes, and the job is to observe each other's lessons and maybe try and help each other improve, give each other feedback and pick up on things that you like to mimic from the teacher you've observed. So what I got from those experiences was that one, teaching doesn't have to be an unsatisfactory job, right? Number 2, I learned that I really sucked as a teacher. I sucked. And the reason I sucked was because I was just going through the motions. I didn't care about really teaching anything to the kids. I just wanted to do the job and get my pay and leave. But after watching some people who, as far as I'm concerned, they're giants in teaching, amazing teachers, brilliant minds, people who really commit themselves to the job. And you watch these people long enough and you realize, I want to be like them. They make this seemingly boring job look extremely fun. And not only do they enjoy themselves, but the students are also enjoying themselves. The students are also learning so much, simply because this man or this woman is willing to humble themselves enough to say, I have to learn how to give the best lesson. And they do. And they do. So I knew some people who craft games for their students for weeks in advance, right? I knew people who'd have activities on the top of their heads because they've done it for so long, and it was just so motivating to watch their classes. And then I'd go back to the drawing board and look at my classes and think man, my classes look pretty boring. And because my classes are boring, I'm bored. I don't want to be here. The kids can sense that, so they don't want to be here. So when they're walking home, they're saying, Eigo kirai, which is Japanese for I don't like English. But it's not like they don't like English. It's that Oscar's lessons were subpar. But when I decided to do what the other teachers were doing, my lessons just became wonderful. Not only did my lessons become wonderful, and number one, the students started learning English, right? Number 2, the students started enjoying English. They wanted to be in my class. But best of all, I started to enjoy teaching. So I mentioned in the last post that I own a business. My business is an English school. Now, I wouldn't be running this business if I didn't enjoy doing this. Now, this isn't something I might want to do for the rest of my life. but it is definitely something that I do, with my head held high, because I enjoy it. I have gotten good at it, and I'm only getting better. Let me tell you what happened. So I have one student, and this student, he might have ADHD, or there's something going on. I'm not quite sure. The mother mentioned he might have Tourette's. I haven't noticed anything that seems Tourette-like, but that's what the mother said. And this kid, he's a very challenging student. He has trouble focusing. He has trouble remembering. He has trouble speaking, But over the last 2 months, I've been teaching. It's just been me and him one-on-one, right? And I've seen him improve so much. The father will come and tell me, Oscar, you're a great teacher. Like, my kid wasn't like this before. And it's like, for me, yes, because I'm with him every day, it's very hard for me to see significant changes, because for me, it's just daily what seems like insignificant changes. I can't see how much is changed, but his parents, they're so impressed. They're like, Oscar, you're a great teacher. What have you done? What are you doing with him? And the reason they can say that is because I am actually putting in the work. I might not see the changes immediately. It's like going to the gym. How long is it before people see the change in you? I think that before you see the change in yourself, people have seen the change in you. Right? You go to the gym for 6 months, 1 year. Okay, 1 year is too long. Okay, you're in the gym for 6 months before you notice any significant changes in yourself. But 3 months in, your siblings, your parents, your significant others, they've already noticed something. They've told you, wow, you look good. Your shoulders are much bigger. You've lost weight. But you can't see it yet. And it's the same way with this student, because I'm with him every day. I'm not seeing that change. I feel like, man, he's taking too long. But when the parents tell me, hey, my son has really improved, I feel like my efforts are being rewarded. And so my challenge to you today is this. If there's something that you think you suck at, if there's something you don't enjoy, try finding people who are exemplars in that field. Spend some time with them. It doesn't have to be like, it's not even a mentorship. Just spend some time with them and watch them doing that thing. And I promise you that you too will want to mimic what they're doing. You too will want to enjoy that thing as much as they do. Right? Don't be subpar. Don't say you hate your job. Don't say you don't know how to do it. The reason why you hate it, the reason why you don't know how to do it is because you're surrounding yourself with people who aren't giving you their all. And think about this. Anything can be fun. You don't like your job? There are people who have what would be considered great jobs. Think of actors, maybe musicians, dancers, artists, right? There are some who don't like doing those things, despite all the fame, all the wealth, despite maybe they want to do that thing in their youth, but now they don't enjoy it. And why? Because at some point, they just started going through the motions, right? But if you spend time with people who are not going through the motions, but actually trying to figure out how to make things great, you too could become great. Thank you.